I worry sometimes that I'm not enough for anyone, mostly because I think I'm not worthy of their time, attention, kindness, or compassion. It's a constant struggle for me to hold back the anxiety that comes with new or evolving friendships. I run at the mouth, saying too much and never realizing the embarrassment until after the damage is done. And I'm standing there, all the words I've said flooding my mind and cringing at the vastness and overshare. I cling to people because I'm so afraid they'll leave without a word, deserting me when I need a friend or confidant most, because that's how I was trained to behave. People with my issues, it stems from their parents, who weren't there or were constantly in need of parenting. But not me. My parents are pretty great, all told. My issues stem from outside relationships, a neglectful and selfish best friend, toxic men, and a reoccurring constant need to prove myself and my commitment to those I felt closest to. It was only very recently that I put the two together. My best friend, my sister, the one I ran to whenever I needed someone as I grew up, was never there for me. She was constantly forcing me to prove my friendship, sacrifice everything I wanted for what she wanted. Her favorite music had to be the same as mine because if I liked country and she liked hip hop, what would we listen to in the car? We competed in everything. I joined high school drama and found something unique for myself that made me happy. So she had to try for and join drama and try for the same roles. I liked to write and read a lot, so she would take my writing and read it, but never creased a page in the printouts. I thought this was normal. I thought that's how friends are, pushing each other, and one would need to bend to the other. So when we graduated and went off to different colleges, it was no surprise I struggled to find where I fit in. I managed to make two different groups of friends, polar opposites in every way. One that was very much my childhood best friend's type of people, and the other that was very different from them, more free, more accepting, more caring and protective, all the things I saw in myself that I prided about myself. But even there, on my own, I ended up with her group of people and lost touch with mine. Conditioning like this is far too common, I think. As I'm reconnecting with people from darker days in my past, I'm finding more and more of them are struggling with sobriety, relationships, just existing in this world as adults over 30. Maybe it was me. I attracted the broken like me for a long time, and giving them a place to rest was one thing I could offer. I thought they would be strong enough to get through their lows on their own without the need for crutches. But I was wrong. Maybe I'm part of the problem there. Maybe by giving them a security blanket and taking it away when I needed to focus on my mental health, I doomed them to never find their own way. Or maybe that's just my ego. Probably my ego. I've recently started fixating on something I call perceived personal history. It's how we look back on moments in our past, in our own past, and remember, mostly falsely, the harder moments that we work through. It's a false narrative we tell ourselves to better adjust and move forward in our lives, a way to feel better about ourselves and where we are in life by adding glitter to our roles in history. Oftentimes, we see things happening to us or around us, but don't remember any of our actions that led to those events. A bit of blindness, that clouds our minds to the full picture, and all we remember is John being mad or Meg deciding to stop talking to us. The problem with this is, how are we supposed to learn from our past so we don't make the same mistakes if we aren't able to recall the mistakes we made? It takes talking it out with people to discover the whole picture, which can be hard and made harder when we are embarrassed by our actions or behavior in the moment. A couple extra messages over text and I get too far in my head. Maybe I'm bothering them. Maybe they don't want to hear from me right now. Maybe I just need to relax and let them text me back. But my recall is of not hearing from people in my past. So I cling a little more, send another, and then another, and before I know it, I've dug even deeper in my own designed hell and have no idea how to break the cycle of embarrassment at my actions or desperation to hear back from them. Oftentimes, I have to mindfully stop myself, tell myself no, I can't send any more, or try to walk them back or unsend several times. I see my actions as a problem, but I have no idea how to stop myself from going full speed over the cliff of self destruction. Then, when I do manage to get a grip, I send myself into a shame spiral of guilt and anxiety where I can't pull myself out. How could I be so pathetic? Why did I even start sending these messages? How do I not scare off this friend who has been so kind to me? Oh, I know. Let me tell them how much I appreciate them. The next in my health. I overpraise and what one friend calls fawn over them. But um, they did the baseline minimum required to be a friend, and I thank them for their kindness, beg for forgiveness, and promise over and over to try and be more mindful going forward. But in truth, I have no idea if I can keep that promise. So when the cycle starts again, the shame spiral takes me lower. And I'm old enough now. The way I've learned to break this cycle is by holding up my hands and telling myself, whoa, whoa, wait a minute, Vicky. Take a beat here. Think this through a second. Why are you so desperate for this person to message you back? Is it them you need or something they are offering you? I force myself to pick apart my headspace and I think of them and analyze why they hold such power over me. Power, mind you, I force. It would be like someone made a bomb and handed it to you. You can hear the clock ticking, but over that is them saying how wonderful and amazing you are for holding this bomb for them. They gesture they'll be right over here working on the bomb you're holding and will be right back once they figure out how to stop it from going off. What the hell is that? What does that mean for the friendship that this person you are trying to help just leaves you with a live bomb in your hands? Really, though, how am I supposed to work through my abandonment issues if I have to hold the bomb too? Sometimes I feel like my abandonment issues are a way to continually punish myself to prove that I really am as unworthy as I feel. I think I think I let myself go so hard because I'm seeking validation that I'm unworthy, unlovable. But I often don't stop myself quick enough, especially when someone who feels like a safe space is involved. Someone who makes me feel seen and heard and appreciated. I have no chill because it becomes so important for me to make sure they feel the same. But they can't feel the same when all their time in the friendship is spent taking care of me. How unfair is that? All the reading says the only way to cope with abandonment is therapy, which is true. I can see that helping. That usually means drugs to calm my anxiety, and that means there's no way I can do this on my own. What does that mean? What does that say about me? That I can't take care of myself, that I can't figure out my own problems and work on them by calming my inner child and exercising my demons. There has to be other ways to cope than just seeking professional help. There has to be something I can start doing now to work on not unloading my problems on everyone around me. I don't know what that something would be anymore. It used to be drinking. Man, I cared so little if you liked or hated me when I drank. But with sobriety comes limitations on self medication. I don't think my childhood friend knew she did this to me. I don't think she's aware of how lonely it was to be her friend all those years and how much her actions and lies tore at my self esteem when it was still in a growing phase. But the result's the same. When she took the selfish route, I felt guilty and unworthy of her time, which led me to seek out relationships that reinforced that thought and deepened the scars. So, what can I take away from tonight's writing? What grain of hope and truth can come from all this knowledge and understanding other than finally knowing where the blame lies? I think for myself, while I work on my issues, I can try not to give them to others. That while I'm in a spiral, I lock away my phone, not check social media. I reach out only to my friends when I feel clear headspace and in control of myself. I take back my power and stop shoving it to everyone around me and stacking the deck against them. I don't know if anyone else reading this can relate to what I've been talking about tonight. If you're going through something similar where you feel powerless to your perceived history and unable to just be close friends with someone without jumping the shark. If you do, I hope you're making healthy choices. I hope you're seeking help and not self medicating. I hope you know when it's happening and feel safe enough to let your friends know, hey, I'm not in a good headspace tonight, and I feel I don't think I'm talking right now because of it. I'll call you tomorrow and we can discuss it more when I'm a bit more myself. Thank you for spending time with me tonight. I hope this writing has helped you feel a little less alone. Maybe somehow a little more understood. I appreciate you coming and reading along with me. I hope you have a safe night, and remember, you are worthy of more than you allow yourself to believe.
I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago. I've changed for the better this time. I thought I would never be fine. I strive just to say I'm alright, and for the first time in a long time I'm alright. I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago.